What we gonna do about it? Go back, go back to the old school, back to the old school.
The Free Range Mix on Radio 1.
Put Steve in the mix.
Go back to the old school, back to the old school.
Welcome to the live stream with myself, Kutski. Let's turn that music down a little bit so you can hear me shouting over the rubbish. How's it going, guys? So yeah, busy times as always. Want to open the show saying I've put together a new digital bundle if you want to help support the cause. As you guys know, it's like I try and put together these little things, and if you guys want to chip in, it's like I say, it's just a way of supporting the show and also getting something in return for it. What I did is I've dug through some old hard drives, a lot of old hard drives to be honest, today, and I put together a bundle of my old Radio 1 shows, classic shows. So I put them together in a bundle up there. At the moment there is 30, well I say 30, there's more, I think there's like 37 shows I'm up to at the moment that I've put together in it for $9.99. If you want to help support the cause, you can do so on the link there. I'll post it in the chat now. There you go. And yeah, there's probably going to be a lot more than that, to be honest, because I've just found two more old hard drives, this one before I went live and this one. So I'll add some more goodies to the bundle if you want to help support the cause and pick that up. The reason why I'm doing this, up there last week was a picture of some merchandise, wasn't it? And I'd just gone through and rebuilt the Keeping the Rave Alive store. Long story short, I've had to find a new way to do the store now, because now I've moved to Poland. It's not really an option for me to be posting things out from there because the postage is going to be too expensive, and it's like it's not really an option. So there's these on-demand manufacturing basically. So you'd order it, they'll make you the t-shirt and then post it out to you, and then they kick me back like £1 a t-shirt or something like that. Well, that wasn't the point. So I'd got it all up, spent about a week building the store, putting it all together, getting it up online, doing all the designs, sorting the merchandise and the colour schemes, built it all together, styled the website, integrated it into the website, created all the artwork for it, went live, told you to go and help support the cause, jump in, go and buy, a t-shirt and stuff, and everyone was like, yo man, the link's dead. I was like, can't be dead. It was alright before. Went there, looked. Sure enough, the store's blank. Nothing on there. So this isn't right. Then, I think it was while we were on air, I went and had a little dig in. It said, your design has been taken offline because it violates copyright. And I'm like, I own the trademark for Keeping the Rave Alive. Maybe there's some kind of, automatic content detection thing. I think maybe there's something funky going on. So I sent him an email. I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but you're saying that I've violated a trademark, which is why the design's been taken down. But I own the trademark on that. And then sent them the link. Then they said as well, with it, they said if you want to check if something's been taken before you do it. So I went on there, search Keeping the Rave Alive, and it says, yeah, Keeping the Rave Alive is owned by John Walker, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, so I'd sent them the documents that proves that I own the trademark, and then also said, feel free to search it yourself on the site that you recommended to check. So yeah, and then can we get it back online, please? Because I've just invested time on it. It's like, and then they sent a thing back going, sorry, your design infringes a copyright, so we can't let it do. So I was like, yeah, I know, I own the copyright. Sent them another email back. And they were like, yeah, it infringes a copyright of the Smiley Company. And they actually the Smiley Company, when I applied for my trademark, they contested it and failed because they said it's like, my trademark is my trademark. They said it was okay for what I'm doing. It's not infringed on what they've done. So I won that battle. So then I sent them a thing back going, yo, I own the trademark for the design that I've put up online. So I can't be infringing on somebody else's trademark when I'm using a design that's trademarked to me that's been approved. Well, it's not possible for me to infringe on their trademark. Back and forward for a little while with not getting a real answer out of them. And then finally I got a definitive email back saying, saying there's no further negotiation available on this. We work in partnership with the Smiley company, so we basically just don't want to sell you products. I'm like, you. How annoying is that? So it's like it turned around, they were saying all this kind of, bullshit like with it and stuff at the end of it. And basically all it is they've got a partnership with that brand. So they didn't want to rock the boat with it. And then it's, if you look at the Smiley company, they've got like they turn over like billions of pounds a year or $500 million a year or something like that. So here's Kutsky trying to sell his t-shirts and earn a few quid. So now I'm back to square one with trying to sort out the merchandise. So I thought in the meantime it'd be worth putting together this little bundle. So if you want to help support the cause and put me out my misery, then yeah, there's the link up there. And there is actually a load of really good old shows that it's like, I wanted to organise for posterity and stuff, so it's like, so I thought I'd put them together in a bundle if you want to help support the cause. So yeah, thanks for anybody who wants to pick that up. You'd make me day, because I've had a bit of a miserable time trying to figure out ways to monetize the Keeping the Rave Alive brand at the moment. But I do want to say a big thanks to everybody who's coming in with the subscriptions nice and early. That helps support the cause as well. Thank you very much to Wham, just come in with a Twitch Prime subscription 16 months in a row. Shout out to John Boy, who subscribed on Twitch Prime for 12 months in a row. That's a year. That's mad. You've been here. So I do appreciate that. Nixie as well. I know he's been missing for the last few weeks. He did send me a message on Discord and I got it like probably days after you sent it, and then I checked and I didn't have a reply back off you, Chief. So so I'll have another look back at that conversation thread on Discord after. So thank you, Nixie. 13 months in a row. Shout out to Old School Raven Monkey with a tier 1 subscription, 17 months in a row. And somebody came in early before the stream went live. I noticed it scared me actually, because I had my headphones on and there should have been no sound coming out, and then the Kutsky Pussy Mofo comes out every time somebody subscribes. So I'm sitting here like sorting all my stuff out, and then all I get is Bass from Endymion going, Kutsky Pussy Mofo. I was like, somebody subscribed while I was offline. So that's another thing, if you're listening back to the show, you can still subscribe as well. Just a little plug there. So so what's going on the show this week? I was thinking to myself, because I've been busy with other things, with the record label stuff as well, and thinking to myself, it's like, what do I want to do? I just feel like comfort food for music this week. So I'm digging out the old happy hardcore classics. I was thinking the stuff that it's like really when I first got into DJing and mixing at home, like before I was playing out in clubs, the stuff I just loved. Every time I went to, I had me 9-to-5 day job, just left school. Every week I was getting, I think I got like £40 a week when I first started, like an apprenticeship, and that £40 a week was a big deal when you come in from like £5 a week pocket money off your mum and dad. So it's like kind of like each week I'd go down and I'd just basically wax the 40 quid on records, and like so that all of them tracks, like they've got like, and then I'd go home and then all weekend it's like I'd be drinking cider with my mates and playing records and stuff. So it's like that. It's a nice trip down memory lane whenever I play all that old vinyl. So I'm digging out the nostalgic happy hardcore on the show this week. So yeah, all good. Right, let's get some shouts going on in the chat. Who we've got in the house? Night Vipers in the house. Shout out to Hooch, Speedy B. Speedy B, give me the links to Alternative to Spreadshirts as well. Yeah, appreciate that, mate. I did kind of have a look at that, but at the same time, like Spreadshirts is kind of the industry standard with it, so I want to make sure whoever I go with, I want to go with somebody reliable. Stephen P says, F them, go somewhere else. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Speedy B says, bunch of TW hats. I think everybody's on the same page there, that they're a pain in the arse. Shout out to Anders Larson for the Twitch 1 tier, spit me words out, the tier 1 subscription, 17 months in a row. Appreciate the support on that one. So yeah, busy times as always, a lot going on. What I've been up to this week, I haven't really been up to too much exciting. I started working on the radio show yesterday and stuff, and I had a good catch up with Joey Riot, of course. It's like a really good friend of mine at the moment, so it's like I ended up on Skype with him for about 3 hours, just kind of putting the world to rights and catching up with Joey, because I've not seen him for a little while. So yeah, good to catch up with Joey's super deep in music at the moment, working on a lot of new stuff, so I'm excited to hear that. He sent me over a couple of bits, trancy bit that he's been working on, and also a new track with DJ Seduction, old hardcore legend. Shout out to Sonic95, says Cześć, dzień dobry, jak śmiesz, Smash. Close. Polish is getting better. Still small. Ja mówię mała po polsku. I'm getting better. Chaos Raver saying the video is megapixelized. Which picture? The stream? Or me little logo thing up there? Because I did that like I said, I haven't even had a chance to finalise what the actual bundle is going to be, so there's going to be more in it. That's just as what it was as I was putting it together. So I couldn't find the high quality logo, so I will do that. But this is more like a kind of a last minute ditch effort to get something up there. Chaos Raver saying the stream. I think I'm okay. It's been okay. It's been playing ball the last few. Everything's so temperamental when you're streaming because the live stream. Remember, because I had the 2G and the 5G network thing. At the moment, there's something gone knackered with the 2G network. Whenever I'm on it, it is so painfully slow that the router needs resetting. But at the same time, the 5G is lightning fast, and I'm scared to even reset my router because I don't want to lose the goodness that I'm getting on the 5G network in the apartment at the moment. Shout out to Flex821 who says, Kutski, you played a version of Technical's 4am Happy Hardcore stream back in July and I loved it. What edit was it? I'm going to try and bring that up. I don't know whether I've got it in the record box library. I think there's a guy, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to pronounce it. His name's like Stubborn or something, but it's like STURBB. You know, like he's kind of mainly like trappy type stuff that he does. And he did a remix of it, and I think that was the one that I played. Unless it was just the original Technical 4am, but obviously. No, I can't get it up at the moment, sorry. Yeah, send me a message on Twitter and I'll have a look at something. It's like, yeah, somewhere where I'll see it, drop it in my phone. It's probably you ever think phones are too big these days. I've got like big, skinny, bony fingers. Look at that. I shouldn't have any problems with it, but I still do. Nearly dropping it all the time. The problem is you have to hold it at the bottom like that, and they're top heavy, aren't they? So. Yeah, Speedy B saying that the 2G might be bad because of interference from too many devices. That could be true. But I think it's just got its knickers in a twist, to be honest. Speedy B's got the nail on the head there. He says, phones are too big, but small screens are shite. So, yeah, very, very true. Like what did me dad got? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to go on like a rant about it, but I can't stand Android phones. Every time I use an Android stuff, it's like I have loads of problems. I know it's like some people are Android people, some people are Apple people. I'm just more an Apple person. But my dad's got like an S9, is it? I think, and just the shape of it is perfect because I think it's as tall as this one, but it's just that little bit thinner, and it just sits in your hand perfectly in the weight. And I'm like, if only Apple made an iPhone that worked just like an iPhone, but it was that size, that form factor. I really like that. So 2 minutes before we get into the mix, down there, yeah, old school happy hardcore classics. That's the plan. That's what we're going for. Got some belters. There'll be some cheesy ones in there. Yeah, I just want to just like good fun to mix music is what I would want tonight. I feel like I need to spin some beats and unwind a little bit. So that's what we're going to do on the live stream. I'll leave the link up there. If you want to grab the Radio 1 mixes, you can do, like a bunch of old classic shows, help support the cause, help buy lots of new toys to get up and running and working up here. I was watching a guy, I I know what microphones that Rogan and everybody uses on their podcasts as well, so I'm tempted to try and get one of them. And also, you can get those, like I use the Elgato capture card and then put the HDMI out into that, but apparently you can get an Elgato Cam Link, and somebody uses that does a podcast, looks really professional, and he's using that with like a DSLR camera. And my missus has got a DSLR camera, so I'm thinking of giving that a go, toy around. But that's more gadgets that need buy-in, which obviously gets funded for by all the crazy little things that I get peddling like that on the side that you can pick up on the link, which I'll post in the chat again very shortly. Actually, I can do it now, so I think it's still a new thing. So yeah, if you want to help support the cause, let me know if the link doesn't work. But anyway, yeah, if you don't know what the format is I sit here and gas and talk rubbish for a little bit before it, and then I get in the mix for an hour and a half, something like that, and then on the back end of it I come back on here and I have a chat with you guys, we answer some questions, we just shoot the breeze, talk about what's going on in the world. So yeah, I haven't really got much more to say, so I'm just going to go and play some records. You up for that? Does it sound good? I'm almost bang on the money. Cool, right, happy hardcore, catch you on the other side.
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home.
I know just how good it can be. Baby, we gotta keep on trying to say how I feel. Let me prove to you my love story. To say how I feel, let me prove to you my love story. Keep on trying, 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 trying. Keep on trying, 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 trying. Keep on trying, 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 trying. Keep on trying, 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 trying. Get it on now.
Hardcore vibe that I run things. Whoa, yeah. 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 Hardcore business, them love it. Hardcore business, them love it. Hardcore vibe. Hardcore vibe. Hardcore business, them love it. Hardcore vibe that I run things. Whoa, yeah. Hardcore vibe that I run things. Hardcore business, them love it.
walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk alone.
I want you to know, seems like there's a feeling in me I'll never let go. Is it real or am I dreaming? Time takes me away, feeling like there's a rhythm in me. Night is changing today, but the music's making me stay. You show me eternity. You show me you to know. Seems like there's a feeling in me I'll never let go. Is it real or am I dreaming? Time takes me away. Feeling like there's a rhythm in me. Night is changing today, but the music's making me stay.
Can you feel
I miss your emotion. Take me to heaven with the way you make me feel. Love and devotion. Love and devotion. Yeah. Then you do when I know your love is real. I miss your emotion. Take me to heaven with the way you make me feel. Love and devotion. Love and
Yes, there we go. Some happy hardcore in your life this evening. Something wrong with it. Yeah, so you see what I mean about that type of music? I don't know if it's just me because the era in music, the period of music that I grew up with, where it's like there's something soothing about that. It's just happy music, isn't it? It's not deep. Doesn't pretend to be deep. It doesn't pretend to be cool. It's nothing too heavy. Just take your brain out. Happy vibes. Let's have a look. Shout out to Nixie. Shout out to Hooch, Chaos Raver, all enjoying the mix. Just as I'm looking through. Shout out to Ali Elliott, saying I was the topic of a group chat. I saw that on Twitter of whether I was actually Polish or not. I'm not Polish. I live in Poland. And weirdly, the weird thing is my DJ name, which I came up with. I've told this story a load of times. I'll tell it again. So I used to be really into hip hop and all scratching and stuff like that. And every DJ was called Mixmaster Mike, Cutmaster Swift. Like, you know, they had names like that, like, you know, kind of. And I was really into hip hop and turntablism and scratching, so I used to call myself Cutmaster J for John, and then Cutmaster spelt with a K because there was already Cutmaster Swift spelt with a C. So it's like, bearing in mind I'm like 14 at the time. So then by the time I started getting gigs, it's like, where do we get to? I'd played a couple of gigs out, like, you know, like little bars and stuff like that. And I was playing at a local bar, and a guy see me, he goes, "Oh, you're really good. I want to book you for my event." So then I was like, "Yeah, cool." He goes, "What's your number?" Took the phone number, and he goes, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Cutmaster J." He had, like, you know, them old Nokia phones when you had to key it in, because this is like way back in the day. Cutmaster J ain't fitting in one of them old Nokia phones, so he just put Kutski in. And then he printed the flyer, and the first flyer with my name printed on it said Kutski. So I'm thinking, why would I want to go backwards now and start going to Cutmaster J when I've got flyers with my name Kutski on it? So I was like, so we'll just run with the Kutski thing. That's where it came about. Then wind on the clock, 20 years, meet the love of my life, move over to Poland, weirdly enough. Bizarre. There you go. So that's obviously what's confused Ali Elliott and her friends of the group chat. Thought I was sitting there, I thought I could feel my ears burning. So yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the mix, if you want to help support the cause, I did have merchandise up for you, and I got kicked in the dick by Spreadshirts, whatever they're called. Yeah, they mugged me off because they've gone with a big corporation and they don't want to upset them, even though I trademarked Keeping the Rave Alive. They won't let me sell the merchandise through it, so I need to go back to square one. So in the meantime, if you want to help support the cause, I've gone through old hard drives. I've just shown you I've got loads of them. One of them's just booted up again, so I'll probably find some extra ones. But yeah, over 30, I think there's like 37 shows, some essential mixes live, some other stuff that I did. All with Radio 1. This is from like 2005 to 2008, so the real early shows that I did. That I couldn't find anywhere on the internet. They don't exist anymore. So that's why I put together this little collection. Like I said, it's there, 70 hours plus the music. $9.99 if you want to help support the cause and get some good music for your car, relive some old memories and stuff like that. So yeah, a little piece of history for you if you want to help support the cause, because I'm getting mugged off by everything I try and do at the moment. It's pissing me off. But yeah, if you want to help support the cause after the show's finished, bit.ly/Kutski Radio 1, one word, lowercase. Shout out to Texie with a Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you to everybody who came in. There's been a lot of subscription action tonight, so I do appreciate the support with that. Really do. So yeah, thanks for supporting the thing. I know it's like it's that bullshit thing, isn't it? It's like I almost feel like I'm going on to autopilot when I'm doing a hey, and don't forget, if you're on Amazon Prime, then you've got a free Twitch Prime subscription and blah 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 blah. But it's like all those little things, they do genuinely help. It's like I said, I've got this vision that I want this to be self-sustaining. I want it to kind of be like a career option, and not just for me, for other people in the future. That it's like, you know, like radio. I love radio. I love like hosting radio shows and stuff like that. And I made peace with the fact years ago. It's like, yeah, well, let's have a little rant. We've got a bit of time. It's like I'd made the thing that it's like, obviously I'm not going to be like, I will still be a DJ when I'm 65, still playing the bullshit music that I want to play. Thank you, Flex, for the subscription. Appreciate that. It was a Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much, my friend, for going to the effort of that. So yeah, so I'd like I'll still be a DJ when I'm 65, but I'd imagine that my career is going to take me in other paths where I'm doing other things. And it's like, and I thought with all the experience that I've got in radio, I'll end up working in radio, you know, kind of like maybe I'll be a radio producer for a different radio station, or, you know, kind of like something like that. And it's like, you know, I just assume that that's the way that my career would take me in the long term. And then the more I was like looking at radio, I'm kind of going, I don't think so. I think radio's going to be gone. I think there's no point in reinvesting in a new career path for a dying media. It's the same as like, you know, you don't go, oh, I tell you what, I'm going to take a career change and get into newspapers. They're going away. That's the reality of it. Radio's going away. But digital media isn't. Podcasts, this live streaming bullshit that we're doing, this is the way forward. So I'm just almost treating like what I'm doing here as, you know, kind of Kutski, while I've got my, you know, career as Kutski, like, you know, for hopefully the foreseeable future and everything. But it's like I'm using myself as a guinea pig to kind of like figure out the industry, and I think that works well with the Keeping the Rave Alive stuff, because as you know, it's like, you know, I've got to the point where Radio 1 wasn't really going to get much further. I've seen how the pattern goes there, where you know, kind of like you're hot and then you get moved closer and closer to the door, shit, at set times before you get the boot. So I decided to take the plunge and kind of set up my own brand and try and take over the listenership from the Radio 1 show over to the Keeping the Rave Alive show, and have a, you know, a brand that I could then market. Because with when you're on the radio, it's like technically like, you know, the branding, I couldn't do a BBC Radio 1 event, you know, obviously, but I can do a Keeping the Rave Alive event. So I'm thinking there's more opportunities to do stuff, you know, even like merchandising is the prime example. And I should be able to do it if Spreadshirts weren't being wankers. You know, you come up with a logo, you sell it, and then you can bring in some income. And I'd like to think, you know, with this Twitch thing, it's like if I can just figure out a way to make it a viable career option to, you know, host a radio show that could be on air constantly. Like, I imagine it's like if I'm at the point where, because the other thing is travel. I love traveling and stuff like that, but traveling breaks you. It really does. And especially like as you're not getting, you know, any younger, it gets, you know, harder and harder. So it'd be nice that, you know, at the moment this is a side project for me and my bread and butter is DJing, but it'd be nice as I get older that the DJing kind of is like the icing on the cake of my own little empire that I've built doing something like this, which would be cool if you can do it. So I'm slowly figuring out how to do it, and you guys have been riding with me, ride or dies. So I do appreciate the support with that. So yeah, I'm having a little rant here, aren't I? But yeah, I mean, it's like the other thing is like that I want to do is I want to do more podcasts. Because the other thing is I can't put the Keeping the Rave Alive show on Spotify because it's weird, right? It can be on Mixcloud and Soundcloud and Apple Podcasts, and that's fine because it's kind of designed for music podcasts. But as soon as you put it on Spotify already has the tracks that I have on it, and there needs to be royalties that needs to be paid out to them. So you effectively, every Keeping the Rave Alive album I'd have to do, I'd have to license and contract in all the tracks, and then I'd have to account back to everybody for them, and it's a nightmare to do it for an album, let alone doing it for, you know, kind of like a show each week. It's just not feasible. So unless there's some weird loophole that changes, and I've seen a few people have their podcasts up there. Now there's two ways that you can do it. You can either license in all the tracks, which is a pain in the arse way of doing it. You can get a blanket agreement with everybody that says, hey, let me just use all your tracks for the label, you know, and I'll, you know, kind of, you'll get the money for it, and then they won't chase you for it, and you get that blanket agreement. I've chased up some of the major hardstyle labels on into the blanket agreement stuff, and also I've got features like, you know, the Sample Mania thing, where I'm playing like tracks by fucking Madonna and stuff, so obviously like Sony aren't going to give me a blanket agreement to do it, so that's not an option for me. The other way that people have been doing it is they've just been uploading them, and it's like, it's a legal grey area that I wouldn't want to go in with it. So kind of, yeah, so that's like, you know, kind of like there isn't really an option to get the Keeping the Rave Alive show on Spotify. But I've got other ideas for podcasts, like I've got me Rants and Raves one that I want to do, where I just want to talk and rant. I've got me video game podcast that I want to do, and then the one where I just spend like an hour talking with legends from the scene about stories from back in the day. Now all of them could go up on Spotify, and then they could be like, you know, then you can get, you know, like how you get paid for, if I've got put a song on Spotify, I get paid for it. If you put a podcast up there, you get paid for it. That's how it works. So it's kind of like, yeah, like, you know, when you look at people like Joe Rogan, what he's done, you know, he started out as like an actor and a stand-up comedian, and now he still does all of those things, like, but he's, you know, his main thing is his podcast now. So Speedy B saying, do the DJ podcast chat thing. Yeah, I mean, me and Joey had a good, like I said before, we had a proper good chinwag this afternoon. It's like we're nearly 3 hours over Skype video, like that, just having a catch up and stuff, because I've not spoken to him for a while. And we were talking about things, and we were talking about, the usual sort of stuff that's like I talk about on air, like, and saying like the pressure of, kind of like, with the DJing and the stuff in the industry and how it works and all the politics and stuff like that. And just kind of putting the worlds to right and having like a very open chat, because me and Joey are both like very open books. There's no bullshit facade with either of us. I think that's why I got on with him so well. There's no like fake image or anything. And then it's like literally kind of like just after I got off Skype to Joey, got a text message off him going, dude, I wish I'd recorded that. That'd have made a killer podcast. And I'm thinking, yeah, it really would have done. Doofman saying, yo Kutski, shout out to Jordan Duffy. Jordan Duffy, what's happening? Shout out to you. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Chaos Raver, yeah, that's almost like a show that I've wanted to do, but it's out of morbid curiosity, because it's one of my things that it's like it scared me, and I think if it scares you, then you're kind of going to be alright, is what I hope. But Chaos Raver says, what happened to our favourite DJs? And it's like that's like a real morbid curiosity. Like there's the TV show, the Where Are They Now? When it shows you people that and you go, oh God, I remember that guy. I wonder what they're doing now. And it's like, and I see that a lot with DJs. And a lot of the time, it's like it's weird. Like it gives me almost like a weird type of anxiety about it, because sometimes you see DJs that you thought were massive and you're like, they're huge, that guy's a superstar. And I really mean this in a very humble way, but it's kind of, then you see they've kind of like gone back to the real world and got real world jobs. And that's why I think I've always been so humble, because I've seen that. I've never had that thing that, I'm Kutski and I'm famous in any way, shape or form, because I'm very aware that it's like what we do is a very fickle, limited industry, very limited career path, and there's got to be another chapter to life after it, like most likely. But then sometimes you go, whatever happened to that guy? He was massive, and then he just kind of completely dropped off, and people go, oh no, don't you know, now he's a massive sound designer for some huge company, or he's gone and like, oh, don't you know that guy, he set up like his own business and now he's got like his own taxi company somewhere. And so some people have been like super successful and moved on to do stuff, and I don't want it to be kind of like, I don't want it to be negative, so I don't want to be like, oh, this is this guy, remember, and now like he's really struggling to get by, like check it out, this is fucked up, because that's like a horrible thing to do. But then that's kind of a reality of the industry that a lot of people don't see, and I don't want to gloss over it by going, oh, look at this guy, he was a DJ and producer, and when it ran out, he's now gone off and now he's the head of A&R for this huge record label in America and stuff like that, because there are like massive stories like that. But I don't want to kind of gloss over the bad ones, but then I almost don't want to put a spotlight on the bad ones either. So that's something that I've wanted to do for ages, but I've really wrestled with myself about that. See, there's a lot of people as well that I think they're kind of like, they don't really necessarily, like, kind of like, I see like Speedy B saying like, where the fuck is DJ Vibes? DJ Vibes still out DJing and stuff. That's not his priority in life anymore. Like, he still loves it, like, and he still does it. He does it because he loves it, but he's successful with what else he does. The other thing is I don't want to start saying what people are doing beyond it, because it's like, it's not my business to start telling other people's business within the scene and stuff. But Vibes is doing very well, like, kind of like, he's doing well. So kind of, yeah, I mean, it's like interesting, there's nice stories like that. Yeah, Nixie's saying about that. I read that about E17. I think Brian Harvey's still kind of doing stuff in the entertainment industry, and I think the lead singer's doing something in the music industry. But then there was like another one, wasn't there? And it's like, and he was a roofer before it, and then he went back to being a roofer after it. And I remember seeing that and being like super, like, it gave me like, because at that point when I was like finding out about that, it's like I was like I was starting to make it as a DJ, and of course I'm like starting to think, wow, yeah, what's this amazing career that I've got ahead of me? And then I was like, whoa, what's this amazing career that I'm going to have ahead of me? And then what lies beyond that? Because it's kind of untrodden ground, isn't it? So it's like, yeah, that was kind of like, yeah, I've always tried to keep that in mind. I've been like, I'm not trying to do it to be like, oh, check out Humble Kutski, but I like to think that it's like, I'll do this and I'll be good at it and it'll be an amazing chapter of my life, and then there'll be something else that comes after it, and hopefully that, like, the idea is that this isn't the best part of my life. the idea is whatever follows it and comes on next is going to be even bigger, and I'll be even better at whatever it is that I do. And it's like, like chapters of a book, like of your life. So yeah, I mean, me and Joey were kind of joking about this before, really, but it's kind of like, it is like a thing that it's like that I don't want to outstay my welcome in the scene, where it's like I don't want to be that guy that's irrelevant and just kind of like, trying to just hang on and do stuff because he hasn't got anything else to do, because then kind of like that seems really sad. And I have seen that a few times where it's like people that are just kind of clinging on to it. But at the same time is I don't want to go, okay, time for the next chapter and move on before I'm kind of done with what I've built here, because I've spent so long doing it. So what's the, what's the way out? What's the exit strategy? A lot of you know, if you follow me, it's like I listen to a lot of, I really follow MMA really closely, and I listen to a lot of podcasts about it and interviews with fighters. And it's interesting because they've got kind of like a fixed time frame with what they do, because by the time they're in the mid-30s it's time to get out, and you've got to figure out what to do for the rest of your life there. And they don't come out, same as like with DJing, you don't come out set for life. You can earn a bit of good money and have a good lifestyle with it. You need to do something else with the rest of your life. And it's interesting with them that some of them, like you see, dry throat. Yeah, some of them you see, and they have real problems because they've got that, they're used to the highest highs, and they don't have it anymore, and they fall into drugs, alcohol, depression, fighting with people in bars and stuff, and it ends up with these like really bad stories, that end in the worst possible way sometimes. And then you see other people that leave, and then they set up their own businesses and they become CEOs of companies, and then they open up their own gyms and training academies and stuff like that. So they go on to do like all different types of stuff, after it. And then I think that's kind of going to be the same with DJing as well. But it's like there's the generation that come before me, like your Slipmat generation, that they were the pioneers. Like they were the first ones to make a career out of it, and everyone was going, it's a young man's game. Well, that's because there was nobody older than them. They created this whole thing. So like now when you look at like all those guys, they're like in their 50s, but not everyone's hung on, but like a lot of them have and stuff. So they're kind of paving the way, but not everybody can be a Slipmat. Not everyone can have that like legacy that carries on going. Other people are going to have to move on and do different stuff. So some of that I find interesting, and that's what I think it'd be good to do with a, kind of like on a podcast. And it's like I said, this is the one that I think is probably the most interesting idea, but I'm too scared to do it because I don't know how to deal with it. I think the best way to do it, I think it's not an idea for now, if I'm totally honest. I think the idea it would be like to do it like later, like when you've moved on, so that I could, because it almost seems like a bit like morbid curiosity, like if when you're in the prime of your career, to be poking at guys that had been there and done that we know when I was like, that have probably achieved more than me, and they've gone over the hill now, and it's like in their like lower down, and then me to be prodding going, what are you doing now, what are you doing now? And they're like, kind of like it's almost like a bit patronising. Whereas I think it'd be something when the chapter of my book's written, that maybe it'd be something to do, kind of then to catch up with other people and go, so it's like, so I'm no longer a DJ and I've moved on to do something else, and here's what everybody else has done as well. More of it like, when I'm in my 50s, like some kind of authoritarian figure. I think maybe it'd come across as better than that, rather than me interviewing people that are like, my seniors that I should be more feel like I should be more respectful of than that. I've ranted a lot about this, haven't I? If you can tell, I've thought about it. Yeah, Speedy B, exactly. Like Slipmat's deep in the game. Like not many people can have a career like Slipmat. Because it's mad, because when I grew up, I was buying Slipmat records, Force and Styles records, Hixie records, Brisk records and stuff like that, and I thought of them all being the same generation. Obviously it's like a new Slipmat had done the SL2 stuff, but the perception in my mind was they were all like the same sort of level. But it's interesting now, I'm good friends with a lot of people in the scene, like including Slipmat actually, like in that, even though I don't really see him much anymore because we move in different circles. But speaking to Darren Styles, and he was saying when he came through, like Slipmat was like the godfather that everybody looked up to and stuff like that. So almost how I look up to their generation, seeing them as a whole. But when Darren came through, that's how he looked to Matt and stuff. And yeah, and even like, when I was like speaking to Hixie, and he was saying about like, all people like Ramos and Supreme and stuff, that Ramos was the first person to start supporting his tracks and stuff like that. And I always thought of Ramos and Hixie being at the same era. So it's funny how it works. Chaos Raver saying, what happened to Force from Force and Styles? I still know Paul. He still plays gigs now and again. I don't know what he's up to. I mean, you know when you just get a vibe off someone, so I'm completely talking at my arse here, because it's like I know him like to have a chat, and whenever I'm with him I just make him tell me stories from back in the day. I'm like, oh, what happened here and what happened there, and can you tell me about this and tell me the story behind that. But you know what, how when somebody dresses well and you can tell they're doing well in life, so I'm guessing he's got a job now and he does some other stuff, but you know, kind of you know, it was just like that was again a chapter of his life, the Force and Styles thing. And then it's like, you know, then he kind of like, you know, probably got other interests. I don't know. Maybe he got sick of the scene. Maybe he got sick of the industry. Maybe he got better opportunities. You know, I don't know. I couldn't speak on his behalf. But it's like he's kind of like still loves the music. He's still super enthusiastic, and he's a really, really nice guy. And I just get that vibe from him that he's doing well in life, which is awesome. So yeah, so that's the kind of interesting thing. Like, you know, because a lot of people know Force and Styles, but they don't even associate it with Darren Styles. So it'd be interesting to maybe do that, like Force and Styles, the biggest, you know, thing in the 90s, you know, for happy hardcore, and then look what Darren's gone on to achieve, and then look what Paul's gone on to achieve, obviously in a completely different direction. So yeah, I think it's nice. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Chris Unknown a while back when I'm sure he won't mind me saying, talking to him like we were in a taxi back from, I think it was HTID in the Sun, and I said to him, I said, oh, how's things going? I said, you're busy in the studio, you're doing much? And he goes, no, to be honest, man, he goes, I'm just playing like gigs kind of at just, he goes, I haven't really got the studio now, like don't really write music. And a lot of people will know, like Chris Unknown was the, you know, the engineer guy, you know, behind all the Sign Unknown records and stuff, and you know, he was the big producer, and he did, you know, loads of different stuff. And he said that like he's pretty much like knocked it all on the head now, and he's actually got a job. He works in like kind of IT security, and he's got like a really good job. And it's like, and of course this is like my, like almost like my hopes and my fears rolled in one of like, you know, being able to come out the other side and be successful with it. So I'm asking him loads of questions about him, going, oh, what, without trying to be like, I didn't want to be disrespectful because I didn't know what the reasoning for what he was doing was and everything. But then he was like saying, he was like, no, he goes, I just, you know, got an opportunity to take the job. And I thought, yeah, how long is this going to last or whatever, you know, and it's like, this is a good opportunity, took it. And he said at first it felt weird because it's like, you know, he was so used to being his own boss for so long, and now he had to go to have, you know, work and have a day job. And he said for about 6 months it proper felt weird, but he said now he goes, I absolutely love it. He said, I love it, like everything about it, like, you know, kind of what I'm doing. He said, I love my job. I get to spend weekends with my family, you know, kind of like because obviously with DJing you can earn amazing money, but you also can have a bad month when you don't earn any money, and then you've got to get by and stuff. So you've constantly got that in the back of your mind. And even when you've got a good, you know, good month ahead of you, is a gig going to get cancelled? Are you going to get knocked on a fee? You know, all these type of things, you know, that can completely upset the apple carts. You know, you can imagine when you're married and you've got a family and stuff like that, the security of having a day job. And the thing is, he still loves the music and he still goes out and DJs, but now he can pick and choose the gigs that he wants to do. He's not like, oh, this is going to be a mission and I don't want to do it. Like, it's not worth it. But he's just wants, you know, just need to, you know, get everything you can in, or like need to do the, you know, so it's almost like he's gone back to just enjoying it for what it is. So yeah, I think that's like my goal is, you know, I look at people like that. I look at like Chris is like a super, you know, really like nice guy, good family man and stuff, and then I'm just kind of thinking, it's like, you've done it right. You had an amazing career, and then you had an opportunity at the right time to kind of step out. So I think that's fascinating. See, rather than doing a where are they now type prod at people going, how did it turn out for you? How did it turn out for you? Rather than doing that, I think it'd be like, you know, like Legends of, like I said, I want to do that Legends podcast. I've got a really cool name for it as well, but I don't want to give it out in case somebody robs it before I do it. But it's like Chris Unknown would be the perfect person to have on that, to talk about all the, because obviously he goes way back to the old school days, and then to talk about, you know, kind of what, you know, went on with the record label, stories from all the raves and stuff like that, and then talk about what he's doing now, you know, kind of like, and that'd be a better way for me to put it out, because it's like, yeah, I've been kind of like fascinated by that type of thing. So I'm really starting to rant a lot now, aren't I? I should probably leave you to have the rest of your evening. I just got a message from Chris Van M. I say a message, a subscription, 16 months in a row on Twitch Prime. Thank you, Chris. Sure. Redders with the 100-bit donation, bits for tits. Woo! Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, there we go. Ranting a lot. I'm just having a quick scan to make sure there's... see what I need to... Anything that I need to do... I can tell you another nice story like that it's like, again, is inspiring. A lot of people know, like, one of my best friends, like, personally, is Phil York, the hard trance DJ, who's also my, like, agent as well. And it's like, me and Phil started DJing together, and he ran a night in Scotland, which is how I know, because he used to book me for that. So we played at a lot of parties. And then from that, he went into, he was kind of like, he was always more into the business side of DJing. I'm sure he won't mind me saying, like, that, running record labels and running parties and stuff like that. He was always like, kind of like more business focused with it. And then, then he was kind of settling back, taking a step back with the DJing, still DJing, but it wasn't his priority. And he was saying that, because I was writing loads of music, but I wasn't releasing it. I was just making it and just not doing anything with it. And he said, let me try managing you and doing the thing, and then we'll see how it goes. And, kind of like, and then if it all goes well, then maybe I can come on, like, on a percentage base. So I give him some music that we've been working on. It was ended up getting released on the big labels like Detox, Tidy, all that sort of stuff, like back in the day. And then I was on. Then he started doing management for a lot of different DJs. And then I think it was Lisa Lashes wanted him to do his bookings as well. And then kind of after a while, because I worked so closely with Phil, it just made sense that I moved over. So then Phil did my, like, management and bookings. And then from there, like, we kind of ended up building a full-on DJ agency. And Phil York has got a very respectable career as a producer and a DJ. Phil York, the UK hard trance legend. But that legacy is nothing compared to now. He's like, he's managed the likes of Paul van Dyk. He manages Cosmic Gate at the moment, Paul Oakenfold, Gareth Emery, Ben Nicky. It's like, it started off with, it was just me and him, and now I'm by far the smallest fish in the pond. Like, kind of, and then, like, kind of, obviously, Phil's a really good friend of mine, but it's like, I do it, like, look to him, like, for inspiration, that I think that he's moved on when it was the right time for him to move on. He moved on and he was massively successful in a new field. And it's like I said, that it's like, it's important to know when to close one chapter, open the next chapter, and also, and I mean that in a positive way, that write that next chapter so the next chapter of your life is even better than the first one that you wrote. So, yeah. A lot of ranting tonight, but this is another one. Old school Raven Monkey saying, I wonder where Lisa Lashes is now. She actually runs one of the leading colleges in dance music. She kind of like, she'd had the peak of her career, and then it was like, kind of, moving more into legendary status with it. And then she started teaching. She's got this, kind of Lisa Lashes Music College where people go on the course, and they have like tutors and lecturers where they teach you about dance music. Super, super successful with that. So again, it's like, it's all a case of just waiting for that right opportunity that you won't know what it is, because that's the reason why I don't plan too tightly. I've got all these different things. I love video games. I love music production, kind of like I love radio and podcasting and stuff like that. I'm just waiting for that opportunity that I'm not expecting to come along and stuff like, and hopefully like give me a few more years run, because I don't want to have to make the dilemma to, whether to cut the career short as a DJ. But then the last thing you want to do is end up with no career as a DJ and then no after plan either. So yeah, these are the things that I think about a lot. So yeah, a little bit of insight into DJ's mind. I've way out-talked the timer, haven't I? Music's finished and everything. I feel like, like at the end of a nightclub when the lights come on and the music stopped and there's that one guy that won't go home. That's me tonight. Anyway, one last plug for me, Mixed Collection, after I've told you my life story and my theory and my mental place of where I am with what I'm trying to do with this and everything. And this is part of it, where I'm hoping that you might want to support what I'm doing here on the live stream each week. $9.99 it is for that collection, and you will get 30 plus 2-hour radio shows, some live mixes in there when I filled in for Dave Pearce doing dance anthems and stuff like that. I found them all on an old hard drive, so I've remastered them all, tidied them all up and put them together in that bundle over there. So yeah, 70 hours and more worth of music. So yeah, and that's for $9.99. If you would like to help support the cause, I can post the link. Hang on, I've still got it in my clipboard just to save having to type stuff in. Yeah, there. Post it in now, and I will leave you to get on with the rest of your evening. Episode 400 of Keeping the Rave Alive this week, and Randy in on the guest mix. How's that for pulling out the big boys for the important show numbers? So yeah, enjoy that. I'll be back here on the show, same time, same place next week. Until then, Skutski signing out. Thank you for joining me, and keep the rave alive. Peace out.